If you want to spend less time vacuuming but get better results, stick around because in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite vacuuming tips, tricks, and hacks. You can take it from me, the person that hates cleaning and vacuuming the most. But don't worry, we're not compromising results here. And stay around until the end of this video where I'm going to share with you my #1 tip for getting perfect vacuum cut lines. If your vacuum has a power head or a beater bar like this, you want to make sure that there's nothing tangling it up, because the second you start to have hair or long thread tangling up this beater bar, it can't actually do its job of gently grinding into surfaces like carpets and lifting up dirt and hair and other kinds of things like that. Now, a lot of newer vacuums are coming out with combs built in, much like this Dyson that I have here. This is the Outsize Plus head. It's got hair removal vanes. It's kind of like a built-in comb. So it's like constantly pulling out hair as you vacuum, which is super useful. But if you don't have this type of feature, and by the way, it's available on many different brands of vacuums, not just Dyson, you can use a seam ripper to get rid of that, where you basically take the tool and just cut across. It takes a minute. It's going to be a bit of a nasty job, but once it's done, oh my gosh, your vacuum is going to be revitalized. Do you recognize this texture? Yeah, it's from those old lint brushes that your dad used to use in the 80s. Well, guess what? That technology still works today, and the proof is in the pudding. Most, if not all, vacuum tools that I've seen come with one of these bright red strips, specifically for the purpose of grabbing lint, or in my house, pet hair. Now, these I find so helpful because if for whatever reason your vacuum does miss something, the little lint brush catches it. If you have some lint or some pet hair, definitely pick a vacuum tool with one of those red lint strips. One of the most frustrating things, especially when you're vacuuming a carpeted floor, is when you have made beautiful cut lines and then you have to walk across those cut lines to get out of the room. Where I'm standing right behind me is the opposite corner to the exit point of the room. Let me say that once more. It's the opposite corner to the exit point of the room. Where Lucas is standing, he's filming me. That's the exit point. So it makes no sense, even though it might feel logical to start over there, it's best to start here. And then by the time I'm done, I just see myself out the door. And on that note, if your vacuum is corded, you want to make sure that you plug it in close to your exit point, not your entry point. You know, one of the easiest ways to get your vacuum to work well is to empty the vacuum bin before you start using it or after each use. The max fill line that exists on your vacuum is really important to pay attention to, because anything above that is infringing upon the actual filtration system, which means that if too much stuff is blocking up the area where your vacuum is filtering, it's not going to be able to do its job. It's going to overheat, it's going to burn out the motor, and your vacuum's not going to work the way it should. So really, the solution is to empty it. It takes 2 seconds. Now, if you notice that there are clogs or your vacuum isn't suctioning the way it should, really what you can do is take your vacuum apart. So I always do this. I look inside the head first to see if there's any blockages there. I will look inside the tube, and if those areas are both clear, I'll look inside the filter, and I sort of build my way up. Now, you can pick up specialty vacuum cleaning tools for this. They're actually very easy to come by. I will link one that I like down below for you. And they make a huge difference in terms of capturing and kind of hooking any of that stuff that's caught really easy. And sort of the shape of the bristles is almost like a mascara brush. It's very catchy, so it's good and easy when it comes to, catching any of that stuff and cleaning out your vacuum filters quickly. Good thing to keep in mind. When you invest in a new vacuum, it does pay off to take a few minutes and learn about how all the different components work. That way, when you actually put it to work, it can perform at its peak for you. A few examples of where this can get you in trouble. If you don't know how to adjust the beater bar for high pile carpet and low pile carpet, or soft surfaces like carpet versus hard surfaces like hardwood floor or tile, you can, at the very best, just not get a great vacuum, but at the very worst, you can actually damage your flooring. Next up, it's important to know the tools and how, the little hose comes out and winds back in easily so that you're not having like an awkward, cartoonish struggle with your vacuum every time. Also, the tools. There are a plethora of vacuum tools that are available. In fact, I felt this was such an important topic. We made an entire video about that. I'm going to link it for you down below. It's a total game changer once you figure out what all of these different tools are for. Your vacuum game is going to go from like 50% to 100% once you figure these out and start employing them to do their job. A great way to waste time, if you have lots of it available, is to start by vacuuming the floor and then vacuuming above. So what I'm really saying is make sure that you vacuum from the top to the bottom when it comes to whatever surfaces you're going to be cleaning. So I would start with ceiling corners, crown moldings, and I would go up to door frames, tops of picture frames, anything like that I would want to actually use a vacuum with a brush attachment instead of, say, a dusting tool or a microfiber cloth. You're going to want to work from the top to the bottom, same as you would with any other type of cleaning. And now for that long-awaited tip on how to get perfect cut lines. And it comes down to an elementary concept, my friends. That's right, the alphabet, or more specifically, the W pattern, that is, which is like a term I kind of created to explain exactly how you should be creating cut lines in your carpet. Because before I became a cleaning expert, or accidentally became a cleaning expert, the way I used to vacuum, the best way I can describe it is a sunburst. I would like stand in the middle and kind of draw a sun or a star or some sort of intergalactic planetary thing around myself. It looked terrible. So the W pattern is how you get this professional cut lines. And essentially what you do is you line yourself up with the top left or top right corner of the space that you're vacuuming, and you work in sections. The reason you work in sections is so that you don't have to do ridiculously long strokes. So for this rug, I might do 2 sections, and then I will of course work my way out of the room so I'm not stepping across the surface I have just vacuumed. I'll line myself up to the outermost left corner of the carpet. My vacuum head will sit exactly flush with the corner. I'm going to step back about halfway, keeping my vacuum straight, and then I'm going to push forward ever so slightly on an angle. I'm going to go over some of what I have already vacuumed with my straight pass downward, coming back up on the up. And then when I pull back down, I'm going to go over just a little bit of what I went over on the upstroke. Essentially, you want to cover each spot about 2, maybe 3 times if it's really dirty. That W pattern is not only going to really suck up everything that's stuck in the carpet, but it's going to leave you with those professional pro cut lines. Knowing how to vacuum your house quickly and efficiently is key. A, if you have pets, B, if you have children, and C, if you hate dust, or D, all of the above. And that leads me to this week's comment question, which is, how do you feel about vacuuming? Do you love it or do you hate it? I personally hate it. I find it dreadful. I will say with the advent of cord-free vacuums, it's way more enjoyable. Well, easier? Not enjoyable. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because I have met people before who find vacuuming therapeutic. They're monsters. But yeah, I'm curious. What do you think? If you're interested in floor care, you might find this video, Many Uses for a Mop, interesting and helpful. And of course, there are a couple ways you can support the Clean My Space channel. You can do so by subscribing. You can give Molly a little thumbs up or a comment. And of course, you can visit makersclean.com, which is where we sell all of our premium microfiber cleaning tools, luxury bath products, Maker's Mop, and more. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.